Good afternoon, everyone. We are the reporters of Group 3. So we will gonna be discussing the topics about basic concept of women in society and women's right to education. So the first thing we will gonna be discussing is about basic concept of women in society. And I will be the one who gonna discuss the topic, and the women's right to education will be discussed by Shilame Ampon. So basic concept of women in society. A great deal of debating goes on concerning the role of women in society. How is it that in today's world, where everyone preaches about the value of equality, women still do not occupy the same social, economical, or political position as men do? Women try relentlessly to mark their presence outside their kitchens and laundry rooms. Yet, in the same relentless manner, they are being reminded of the true calling of their nature, which limits their perspective for a much more fulfilling life. So basically, this basic concept of women, it is the things on it, or not, it is how we perceive women or how we see women in society. It is also the ideas and concept or thoughts that is fixed in the mind of people or in the society. It is how, so basic concept, it is how they behave, how they act, or how they must act in the society, or what are their roles in the society. Because it is the society that dictates and determines what should the women do in the society. So to give you a clear explanation of this, I will give an example to you. The example of this is that women are the primary caregivers. So this means that women are the one who take care of the child. They're the one who do the chores. They are the one who do the labors in the house. But this is the traditional concept of women in the society. But in today's modern world or generation, women are much more active and participating in the society. They engage more in the issues that revolves around women. So that's all for the introduction as a wife. And third one is the role of women in politics. And lastly, the role of women in socio-economic activities. So, role of women in the society. The woman whose status and role traditionally was well defined and almost fixed in the society is now experiencing far-reaching changes. The woman in modern times is entering into certain new fields that were unknown to the women's sphere of role sets. So women are actively participating in social, economic, and political activities. First one is the modern women are inclined towards social issues and trying to improve the social status of women at large. So here, women are more engaged in issues that affects women, and they are fighting for their rights and waiving their importance in the society, because women also have their emotional aspect, and the end goal of this is that women are trying to improve their status at large. Second one is increased awareness and education have inspired women to come out of the walls of the home. So women in today's modern world are becoming more aware and educated. And by means of being educated is that women are much more knowledgeable, and they think outside the box, and they do not limit themselves just in the walls of the home, because there are much more things they can do if they can go outside of the walls of the home, because women have more more potential if given a chance. The third one, many women actively supported and participated in the nationalist movement and secured prominent positions and offices in administration and public life. Another is traditionally women exist because of the family and for the family, just like their man counterpart. Women are also fond of attending social functions and value her social life quite a lot. Previously, men fought used to discourage women from leaving their households for attending social functions. Now the spread of education, especially that of women, and with that, the changing social attitudes of educated women have changed the order. And lastly, the modern woman has started caring for her health, figure, cultural needs, interests, academic pursuits, social intercourse, religious activities, and recreational needs. So, as I stated earlier, that women are becoming more educated and engaged in social issues in the society. So having an education, they are more knowledgeable and more aware to the issues that revolves, including their physical self, and their mental health, emotional health, as well their physical health. So women are becoming more health conscious. They take care more on themselves, and they uh, they know what are their interests and what they should do, because women are not limited, and they are now engaged in social interaction, and they are now included. They also actively participating in religious activities and recreational needs. So that's all for the role of women in the society. The second topic of our lesson is about the role of women as a wife. The role of women as a wife. Women as a wife enjoyed a status ideally almost equally to that of her husband and performed both social as well as biological functions. Second, even today, the girls are still brought up on models portraying selflessness, self-denial, and sacrifice. Third one is the desire for mutual affection and love is beginning to appear in their conception of their relationships with their husband. So here, in marriage, love is the basic requirement for it to work. Without love, marriage will become failure, and lack of love will result to uncommitted wife and husbands. If there is love in this marriage, it will work prosperously and with ease. Lastly, the husband and wife relationship has become more equalitarian in character. So it means, and much more companionable. More freedom of choice in marriage is thus an accompaniment to the change in the form of the family. So here, the relationship between the husband and wife are more in equal manner. No one is above them. They do things equally. They um, they do reciprocity. What men do should be also done by the women. What women do should also be done by men. That is the concept of reciprocity, and it is a good sign or good manifestation of a and healthy and good relationship of a husband and wife. The third topic will be about role of women in politics. So what is this role of women in politics? First one is education of women has not only helped them to become aware of the political problems, but they are gradually becoming active participants in the political life. So this means that women who acquire education or have knowledge are becoming more self-aware and involve themselves in the political problems or the problems that circulates in the society, and they are voicing out their opinions and perspective on how it can be solved so that this type of issues have can be solved within the perspective of women. So second, some are enrolling themselves as members of political parties, attending party meetings, conventions, and carrying out political programs. Third one, some women are attaining the influential political stature of their own and have become instrumental in shaping public opinion for the betterment of women's condition in society. So women being influential is a good thing because the the people or women in the society perceive them as a model who fights for the issues that revolves around women. Because of their influence, they also influence the opinion of others, and they can change a lot in the society as well as the betterment of conditions of women in society. So the last topic for this reporting is about the role of women in socio-economic activities. The women in modern times is entering into certain new fields that were unknown to the women's sphere of role sets. These are the women's participation in economic, political, and social life. So, in this point, this means that women are entering in new fields that were unknown to them because these are not normal or not natural in the role sets, and these things they engage themselves in participation in economic, which deals with money and businesses, and political issues, government. They hold positions in government so that they can provide change to the lives of the people as well of the women, and they are also having social life. So the second point is about the modern woman keenly desires to enter into a work career because of the pressing economic needs of the family. So the modern woman, they also seek jobs or business so that they can provide the needs of their family. And in today's modern world, women also work just like the men. So just to provide the needs of their family. And the last point is that in middle class families, much emphasis given to the maintenance of high standard of living to fulfill the economic requirements of the family and to achieve the higher standard of living. The woman participates in economic activities. So thank you for listening to our report. So this is just the first part of our reporting, and the next topic will be gonna discussed by Sheila May Ampon, and it will be about the women's right to education. So thank you and God bless.
So this is the second part of the discussion, and now let's tackle on the right to education. So the right to education addresses issues which includes gender equality, access to education, and its relationship to reducing poverty. It also includes a responsibility to provide basic education for those individuals who have not completed primary education. It also encompasses the obligation to avoid discrimination at all levels of educational system, to set minimum standards, and to improve the quality of education. So the right to education has been universally recognized as something all individuals are entitled to, wherein all of us individuals are entitled to a free primary or basic education regardless of our gender, socio-economic factors, and other factors. Now let's move on to the topics that will be discussed next. So these are the topics that will be discussed. First is the meaning of women education. Second, the importance of girls or women's education. Third, the importance of girls' education. The fourth one is what is the human right to education. The fifth is the human rights at issue. And the last one is the equal opportunity to women benefits all. So now let's proceed to the meaning of women education. So the women education refers to every form of education that aims at improving the knowledge and skills of women and girls. Educated women are capable of bringing socio-economic changes. The Constitution of almost all democratic countries guarantees equal rights to both men and women. Primary education is now a fundamental right. When a woman or a girl is ensured of her rights, the society at large is ensured of its sustainability. Realizing the importance of women education, the government and any non-government organizations took a lot of projects to spread women education. Literacy programs are being taken in favor of women. The importance of women education are briefly summarized below. Economic development and prosperity. Education will empower women to come forward and contribute towards the development and prosperity of the country. For economic empowerment, so long as women remain backward and economically dependent on men, the helpless condition of them cannot be changed. Economic empowerment and independence will only come through proper education and employment of women. Improve life. Education helps a woman to live a good life. Her identity as an individual would never get lost. She can read and learn about her rights. Her rights would not get trodden down. The life or condition of women would improve a lot if we take a broad outlook in the field of female education. For improved health, educated girls and women are aware of the importance of health and hygiene. Through health education, they are empowered to lead a healthy lifestyle. Educated mothers can take better care of both herself and her baby. Dignity and honor. Educated women are now looked upon with dignity and honor. They become a source of inspiration for millions of girls who make them their role models. For justice, educated women are more informed of their rights for justice. It would eventually lead to decline the instances of violence and justice against them. Choice to choose a profession of her choice. So, educated women can be highly successful in the fields of life. A girl child should get equal opportunity for education so that she can plan to become a successful doctors, engineers, nurses, air hostesses, cook, or choose a profession of her choice. Women education is a prerequisite to alleviate poverty. So women need to take equal burden of the massive task of eliminating poverty. This would demand massive contribution from educated women. There cannot be much social and economic changes unless girls and women are given their rights for education. So, women education plays a vital role in the lives of all women and girls in a way that through women education, women can benefit from it that would probably help them to improve and develop their lives. Also, through women education, women can contribute to the development and improvement of the society or the community, which will be beneficial for all the individuals living in the society. So now let us proceed to the importance of girls or women's education. So importance of girls or women's education. Gender inequality in education is extreme. Girls are less likely to access school, to remain in school, or to achieve in education. Education helps men and women claim their rights and realize their potential in the economic, political, and social arenas. It is also the single most powerful way to lift people out of poverty. So education plays a particularly important role as a foundation for girls' development towards adult life. It should be an intrinsic part of any strategy to address the gender-based discrimination against women and girls that remains prevalent in many societies. So, the following links will further explain the necessity of girls or women's education. So, education is a right, cultural changes, better health and awareness, and poverty reduction. So, let's first explain the cultural changes. So, cultural and traditional values stand between girls and their prospects for education. The achievement of girls' right to education can address some of society's deeply rooted inequalities, which condemn millions of girls to a life without quality education, and therefore, also, all too often, to a life of missed opportunities. Improving educational opportunities for girls and women helps them to develop skills that allow them to make decisions and influence community change in key areas. For better health, basic education provides girls and women with an understanding of basic health nutrition and family planning, giving those choices and the power to decide over their own lives and bodies. Women's education leads directly to better reproductive health, improved family health, economic growth for the family and for society, as well as lower rates of child mortality and malnutrition. It is also the key in the fight against the spread of HIV and AIDS. For poverty reduction, educating girls and women is an important step in overcoming poverty. Inequality and poverty are not inevitable, so the focus on poverty reduction enables the right to education to be a powerful tool in making a change in the lives of girls and women. So poverty has been universally affirmed as a key obstacle to the enjoyment of human rights. And it has a visible gender profile. So the main reason for this is the fact that poverty results from violations of human rights, including the right to education, which disproportionately affect girls and women. So now let us proceed to the girls' education, which a lifeline to development. So education is one of the most critical areas of empowerment for women. As both the Cairo and Beijing conferences affirmed, it is also an area that offers some of the clearest examples of discrimination that women suffer. So offering girls basic education is the one sure way of giving them much greater power, of enabling them to make genuine choices over the kinds of lives they wish to lead. That women might have the chance of a healthier and happier life should be reason enough for promoting girls' education. However, there are also important benefits for society as a whole. An educated woman has the skills, information, and self-confidence that she needs to be a better parent, worker, and a citizen. So, what would it take to improve girls' access to education? Experience in scores of countries shows the importance among the things of parental and community involvement. Families and communities must be important partners with schools in developing curriculum and managing children's education. Okay. Low cost and flexible timetables. So basic education should be free or cost very little where possible. There should be stipends and scholarships to compensate families for the loss of girls' household labor. Also, school hours should be flexible so that children can still help at home and still attend classes. Schools close to home with women teachers. So many parents worry about girls traveling long distance on their own. So many parents also prefer to have daughters taught by women. Girls' education promotes sustainable development. So when girls gain access to education, they acquire important knowledge that gives them greater potential for employment and income earning as adults. Even with limited schooling, the impact of education can be observed. So now let's proceed to the importance of girls' education. Importance of girls' education. There was a time when people thought that it was not necessary to educate girls. Now, we have begun to realize that girls' education is essential. The modern age is the age of awakening of girls. They are trying to compete with men and all spheres of life. There are many people who oppose girls' education. They say that the proper sphere of girls is the home, so they argue that the money spent on girls' education is wasted. This view is very wrong because girls' education can bring about a silent resolution in the society. There is several advantages of girls' education. Grown-up educated girls can play an important role in the development of their country. So, girls' education is very important as it would provide girls and women with enough knowledge, wherein a well-educated woman can provide skills, knowledge, and self-assurance that is necessary for them to be a better woman, worker, and or citizen. Now let's proceed to the next topic. So, what is the human right to education? Every woman or man, youth, and child has the human right to education, training, and information, and to other fundamental human rights dependent upon realization of the human right to education. Equality of access to all levels of education is crucial to empowering women and girls to participate in the economic, social, and political life of their societies. Education unlocks a woman's potential and is accompanied by improvements in health, nutrition, and well-being of women and their families. Education gives a woman with a freedom of thought, wherein it broadens her outlook and make her aware of her duties and responsibilities. In addition, they will be able to stand up for their rights. So now let us proceed to the next topic, which is the human rights at issue. Human rights relating to education are set out in basic human rights treaties and include the human right to free and compulsory elementary education and to readily available forms of secondary and higher education, the human rights to freedom from discrimination based on sex or any other status in all areas and levels of education, including access to scholarships and fellowships, and to equal access to career development, continuing education, and vocational training. The human rights to information about health, nutrition, reproduction, and family planning. The human rights to equality between men and women and to equal partnership in the family and society. Realization of these human rights depends on eliminating gender-based stereotypes in education, which deny women opportunities for full and equal partnership. The human rights to work and receive wages that contribute to an adequate standard of living. The human right to an adequate standard of living. The human right to freedom of thought, conscience, religion, and belief. The human right to participate in shaping decisions and policies affecting one's community at the local, national, and international levels. Now let's proceed to the last topic, which is the equal opportunity to women benefits all. So women should be given equal opportunity in education like men, and they should not be isolated from any development activities. Women cover almost half the population of the country, which means if women are uneducated, the half country is uneducated, which brings poor socio-economic conditions. Through women's education, social and economic development will be faster. To spread the importance and improve the level of women education all over the country, countrywide national propaganda and awareness programs are very necessary. An educated woman can educate her whole family and thus the whole country as well. So, education is very important as it is the key to equal opportunities. So, when girls and women get equal education and job opportunities with men, then everyone is in the society benefits, where everyone has the opportunity to develop and improve their lives. And now this is the end of our report. That will be all. Thank you for listening.